Thank you, Tim. Isn't that a cool presentation? Tim is, I have to say, a rock star at the big OpenStack conferences, so we're very pleased to have Tim here. Thank you, Tim, for your great presentation, and it's really cool to see what they're up to at CERN. So, at Rackspace, we believe in giving customers the technology they want to use, and CERN, while they're working on OpenStack with us, many of our customers have built their businesses and their infrastructure on well-established VMware technology and VMware environments. And as Taylor mentioned, we're one of the top VMware service providers in the world. We mentioned that earlier, and VMware is our top sponsor today, so we're very proud to have VMware here today. So please welcome to the stage the EMEA Director of VMware, Crich. Graham.
Good morning, everybody. Okay. So normally we ask how many people use VMware today. I thought I wouldn't do that. So how many Tottenham fans do we have in the audience today? None, or none that are admitting it? Oh, there's one over there. You feeling comfortable? No. How many Arsenal fans? That's good. I have to say, we've been partnering with Rackspace for many years, nearly 10 years now. And since my time at VMware, I've been working with them closely. And they've organized things fantastically well, certainly for this event. They even managed to get Arsenal to win the FA Cup 5 days before we come to this stadium, which is fantastic organization, so well done. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 3 things. I'm going to talk to you about applications. I'm going to talk to you about VMware and our strategy around cloud. And I'm going to talk to you about the partnership that we have with Rackspace. So I'll start with applications. I've worked in this industry for far too long, but my belief is everything that we do in our businesses today is driven around applications. People don't, well, I should have another show of hands on this one. Who goes out and buys new technology just because there's new technology out there? Come on, all the geeks, put your hands up. There you are. Most people in business don't do that. That decision to go and buy new technology is based on an application. And that application or new application or upgrade is being done because you want to gain competitive advantage, because you want your business to be more efficient, because you want to make more profit. So that's why we do things in industry. If you're at the infrastructure layer, you're sat 2/3 of the way through a project life cycle because somebody's been making a decision about an application. So what's our role in life? Our role in life is to make sure that running those applications, managing those applications is as easy as possible for you in your business. That's what we do. So, how do we make this easier? So the next thing I want to do is to tell you a bit about the VMware strategy. And I can see everybody looking down now at their phones or their laptops thinking, God, this is going to be boring. But we have one slide on this. In all my years at VMware, I don't think I've ever seen our strategy condensed down to one slide. And by the way, I did take out the 6 builds on this before we started. So we have one slide on our strategy. What is it about? Applications. It's about applications. You can see them in the middle on that slide. And this is not just these new built for the cloud applications. This is about how we make it easier to run your legacy applications, the upgrades to your applications that you have today. And what's important is that the same underlying foundation is there for all of your apps wherever you run them. So if you want to run them on premise, great. Let's make sure there's the same underlying foundation. If you want to run them out in a managed cloud, same underlying foundation. If you want to run them in a public cloud, the same. That way, we reduce something called friction. Why do people go to the cloud today? Because it's quick, it's easy to use, maybe cheaper. Hold that one thought. It may be cheaper. So what do developers do? Developers say, well, this is really easy. I'm going to move my apps to the cloud. I can swipe a credit card, run up some VMs, develop a new app that's going to save my business, and there we are. I've finished. I've done a great job. It doesn't always work like that. So that same underlying infrastructure is there, be that on-premise, hybrid, managed, whatever sort of cloud you want to describe. And then the other key part of this is how we deliver it to any device. You know, looking around the room, I can see several people with at least 3 devices in front of them today. So what that looks like in the office is anybody's guess. And somebody's got to manage that. Somebody's got to manage people bringing their own devices, bringing their mobile phones, their tablets, their Macs. Some people are even still using PCs, I understand. There's nobody from Microsoft in here. But you've got to manage that as an organization. So again, it's our job to make that easier, whichever application. So the mantra that you'll hear from us over and over again is any device, any application, and one cloud. And by saying one cloud, what we're talking about is that same underlying infrastructure wherever it is. VMware strategy in one cloud, how good is that? So, now let's look at some of the issues around applications. And I touched on this earlier. Your development teams go out to build a new app. They can't be bothered talking to IT, so they pop out to the public cloud, swipe a credit card, and they develop your new app. And then they say, right, we're going to put that into production. But where they've developed that and what they've developed that on may not be a cloud that's good enough to run that as a production environment with a high SLA. So they need to introduce more tools or potentially bring it back internally. And I saw a great story about this about 1.5 years ago. One of the major UK retailers developed their web app out in the cloud and decided they were going to run it themselves. When they tried to bring it back internally, they suddenly realized they had to totally redevelop it because it would not run on their internal systems the same way that it would run in the public cloud. Now, I could say that's because they didn't choose a cloud based on VMware, but that would be, you know, probably a little biased. So they had to rewrite the app. That delayed them. That delayed them in getting to market with a new service, and that cost them money. So that's why it's important to choose the right clouds. Let's look at the networking side of things. This is going to get even more important as we move forward with cloud. So how many people here are using a public cloud today? Don't be shy. Quite a few of you. How many people are using more than one public cloud? So just one cloud is not good enough. That's obvious. How many people struggle when they start to move their workloads between those clouds with the networking and the security? Nearly everybody that put their hands up. That's going to be increasingly important. We've been very well known for virtualizing compute. That's what we've done for 10, 12 years. But the software-defined data center that I showed you on the previous slide means that we now virtualize the storage and the network layer. We made a very important acquisition about 2.5 years ago of Nicira, and that's launched the NSX product, our virtual networking product. That means we can now start to extend networks from your premise out into the public clouds. So when you want to move workloads, the networking capability, the security capability goes with them. True mobility in the cloud, true hybridity. And that's going to be very important to us moving forward and make things easier. Same at the storage layer. Virtualize the storage. That makes things a lot more easy. So I'd encourage you to look at that, and that's one of the big projects that we're working on with Rackspace at the moment. The other thing is to look at the management tools. When you go out to the cloud, everybody can manage a VM, but everybody does it differently. So if your people are already familiar with the VMware tools, and we have 550,000 customers around the world, why do they need to use a different tool set when they go to the cloud? Why do they need to reskill? If you start to choose the right clouds for what you want to do, there's very little retraining required. And of course, that leads down to learning new processes, learning new skills. New management tools, we don't really need them. So, we give you that mobility, the ability to take your applications, to run them on one cloud, and to run them on any device. How many people have heard of vCloud Air? Oh, good. Our marketing's working. How many people have heard of the vCloud Air network? That's even better, because that's actually what I run for EMEA, is our network of service provider partners. Now, why is that important? Because when I've talked about one cloud, and all clouds being different, and many people here are using more than one public cloud, what we want to do is to give you the choice. The combination of vCloud Air, which is our VMware's own cloud platform, and our vCloud Air network partners, means we have over 4,000 service providers around the world in about 106 countries at the last count that are running their clouds on VMware technology. So that gives you a great amount of choice of what applications you put where in the cloud. And there's a whole raft of reasons why you need different cloud providers. You could be based in Germany. And if you're based in Germany, your data cannot leave German borders. So you need to go with a cloud platform that guarantees to keep your data within that country. You may need certain accreditations like PCI, HIPAA, SOX, etc. And there's a cloud service provider within our network that is going to help you deliver to that standard. So that's why that choice is very important. Flexibility. Everybody wants a different level of SLA for a lot of their products. And again, the network can provide that. You know, we're quite fortunate working with Rackspace that they have many levels of cloud and can deliver on a lot of these for you. And breadth and depth. I've talked about multiple certifications. Retail people like to run with a retail specialist. We find that all the time. Healthcare people go to particular service providers. So we have a range of service providers across the whole world that can deliver to that. And not only that, we validate their services. So we work with them to deliver an infrastructure as a service, DR as a service, database as a service. So we give them a stamp so that you know that when you go to one of those service providers, they've gone through the right training, the right accreditations with us, and we put our stamp on that service. And again, let's come back to applications. The ISV marketplace. We have 5,000 applications today that are certified to run on our technology. Again, giving you that choice. So finally, I want to touch on the VMware and Rackspace partnership. As I say, I've been at VMware a little over, just coming up for 9 years. And for at least 8 of those years, I've been working with Rackspace in the UK. So it was quite early days for Rackspace in the UK at that time. Everybody looks at them as a US company, but they're a global company. You know, we have 50,000 VMs under management with Rackspace, which is a huge amount. 40% of those workloads are running in EMEA, and that's growing rapidly. I'm reasonably competitive. I like to make sure that within VMware, my part of the business is doing better than the Americas part of the business, and I'm hoping that Rackspace can step up to that, and within a couple of years, we'll be running more than 50% of the global workloads in EMEA. So that's my aim with them. But it's a very deep partnership. We've worked together at a deep technology level. You know, before we release products, Rackspace get them very early, and we work together to produce services based on our technology, but with Rackspace's fanatical support. And that's the real differentiator for me when we work with Rackspace, is that fanatical support that they put on top of that. So what are we doing in the future with them? Well, we've talked about one application, any device, any cloud, any application, any device, one cloud. That extends out from your data center on-premise to the Rackspace cloud. And then as importantly, our recent work is that can extend now into vCloud Air, so VMware's own platform, giving you even more choice of where you run your workloads in the cloud space. And with that software-defined approach to networking, storage, and compute, we can migrate workloads between all 3 of those platforms seamlessly. That's what we're working for. So, you've heard this morning, Rackspace acting as an extension of your IT. By using our technology, we act as an extension of your data center out into the public cloud. By using our best-of-breed technology and that underpinning all of your applications. We're giving you reliability, performance, and security. And by layering on that fanatical support, we can deliver to any service level that you're looking for. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. Thank you once again for being here, and thank you to Rackspace for inviting us.
Thank you.